When you use our Medicare Supplement, Medicare Advantage, Final Expense, Hospital Indemnity, Dental, Vision, and Hearing quote engine, you are going to have the keys to the castle. You'll be able to very quickly find out what are competitive products in your area. So, first caveat you need to understand is there will be products on this quote engine that you are not eligible to sell. Sometimes it's because we as your upline don't have the contract. So you might ask, why would we even put it up there? So it's for illustrative purposes. So for example, Florida Blue Cross in Florida is a captive agency and only agents that sell for Florida Blue can sell it. Well, you'll be often selling against Florida Blue if you're an agent in Florida, so we want you to have access to their rates and their benefits so that when you're trying to tell your client why your plan is better, you know what the competition has. So don't think just because you see it on the quote engine that you're eligible to sell it. In general, that is true. The vast majority of the products that are up there, we do have a contract with, and if there is a need for you to sell it, then you'll have the ability to sell it. The number one mistake agents make when they enter the senior market is they want to always have the cheapest plan, and every week there is a new cheapest plan. New Medicare supplement products come to market every single week, and they come with the intention of getting a very small share of the market and getting a certain dollar amount of premium and then basically putting it on ice and not growing. And that's great to get business in the door. That's great for them to make money, but that's not great for you as an agent because you're putting your client on an inferior product, a product that was priced from the beginning to be below market price with the intention that eventually it'll be above market price. So that's not what you want to do to your clients. That's not the kind of plan that you'd want to buy for yourself. So in most cases, we want to show them, here are a bunch of plans that are available that are very cheap and they're below market prices. And this is why we don't want to recommend them to you. So we still have the authority to talk about them. We're licensed, contracted, and able to sell them. But there's reasons why we think there's better long-term products that are going to make them happy and going to make you as an agent look good and be happy too. So keep that in mind when you go into the quote engine. I have this quick screen share video to show you step by step how to get in there. Or if you have more questions, call our office and we'll be happy to help you analyze if you're quoting correctly and how to help you improve if you're not. So I hope you enjoy this video. To get started with our quote engine, you'll go to our website, and at the very top of gordmarketing.com, you'll see Medicare quotes. We're only going to talk about Medicare supplement quotes at this time, but you can see you can also use this engine to find out Medicare Advantage, RX plans, Final Expense, Hospital Indemnity, and Dental. So right now we're just going to look at Medicare supplement. I'll do my own town. There's a few states where the rates are higher based on the county, but typically it is not something you're going to worry about on MedSups as much as you'll worry about on Med Advantage. You have to have the county. So you see it's kind of ghosted out here because you don't have to have it to quote. If you're a 65-year-old female, the majority of the people that will be attending your seminars are getting ready to retire, although people are retiring past age 65 more and more. The majority of people are registering for Medicare at 65, and that'll be the age that we're quoting. I'm doing a female, non-tobacco, and you're going to quote Plan G. That will become the most popular plan in America. And the past 53 years, the most popular plan has been the Plan F. That all changed January 1, 2020, and now G is going to be your go-to plan that people want to know where the rate is. You might not end up selling this plan, but this is where you're probably going to start. And the household discount, you will click here if we're going to add it. I'm not going to apply it, but I'm going to give you a little hint. The household discount is the sleeper, meaning most people overlook it, factor when quoting somebody for Medicare supplement, because you can get a huge shift in your rates up to 12% if you can get that discount. So let's take a little bit to talk about these discounts. When I tell you about the household discount, there I am pointing at you. Just remember, if you've learned one company, you've learned one company, because they all do it differently. A lot of carriers do not offer any household discount at all. And the ones that do can offer a wide variety of rates. So let's start with Medico. And Medico is one of our core carriers. On the left-hand column over here, you'll see their Medicare supplement plans. And you'll see a yes if they have a household discount. And you see about half of those states do have a discount. Then in the second column, you'll see what the discount actually is. So it could be 7%, it could be 12%, it could be nothing. We'll call your attention to Florida, which by law will never have a household discount for any plan. Some states do allow household discounts, but they're not allowing this carrier to have one. So, like I said, if you learn one carrier, you've learned one carrier. Medico being one of the most lenient. With Medico, you can get this discount, like I said, which is up to 12%, if you live with someone over the age of 18 for at least a year. And then people always ask me, well, how do they verify that? They don't, but just play along here, okay? If you live with anybody, you don't have to be married. It could be your nephew. It could be a renter. A lot of the carriers don't want to write you if you live in assisted living. So they will say you live with at least one other adult, but no more than, and some carriers say 3, some carriers say 6. So we're all over the board with how these discounts actually work. One of the things I want to draw your attention to is some of these outlying states. So Pennsylvania is always a problem state. Ohio is sometimes a problem state. Like I said, there's several states that never allow the discount, and that is Alaska, Connecticut, DC, Florida, Hawaii, Idaho, Minnesota, New York, Rhode Island, or for Vermont. So if your primary area is one of those, you can ignore the rest about household discounts. If you do have household discounts available in your state, that's when you have to say, okay, what are the specific requirements for my carrier, and what are going to be my 3 core carriers? You should know those, how hard it is or how easy it is to get that discount. So now that I've got my household discount, I'm going to say nobody gets it. His wife is 7 years younger, so it's just him. A lot of times if the wife or the spouse is close in age, I start to talk to them about the household discount and tell them next year, when we get both of you on this plan, you'll both see a discount of, and it's typically 5%, 7%, or 12% right now, which could be a lot of money. So I'm going to run this quote. Always put your client's name in here, because you know people, they change their mind, they give you more information, they forgot to tell you something, and then you have to start all over. So just save your quotes and you can pull them quickly out of your library. Now it's going to give you all of these different options, and it might be 50 different insurance carriers that we could actually give to you to sell. You're only going to be contracted, certified, and appointed for a select group of carriers. So you don't want to show your client all of these carriers, because then you stir up a conversation you don't want to have. So when you go here to your quote, you can say, I don't want to quote this company, and you could exit out. I don't want to quote that one, exit out. And you can go through here and narrow it down to the carriers that you actually want to show your client. Sometimes you might show them more carriers than you plan to present, just because people want to feel like they have the choices. Some people are much more direct in their salesmanship, and they say, we're going to look at 2 plans, and that's all they show them. So, like I said, you can knock out the ones you don't want to show them, or you could do a quick spreadsheet and show them 50. I would like to do a comparison quote, so I'm going to click on 2. I'm going to click on the one that was the cheapest, and then the one that I really want to sell them. And then I'll hit compare quotes. The beautiful thing about the software is that it will then spreadsheet them side by side. I clicked on those 2 carriers, and I got a comparison between Sentinel and United World, and you can see Sentinel's cheaper. And since it is a commodity, a Medicare supplement is by law exactly the same as another Medicare supplement of the same plan letter. So these are both G's. That means the benefits are identical. Now, we could get into some supplemental benefits, such as health clubs. That would be different, but the health benefits are identical. So people say, I don't need an agent. I don't need any advice. This is really simple. Give me the cheap one. Well, we're going to show you why the cheap one is possibly the most expensive one, and it's definitely not the one that we're going to recommend. So let's go back to just the price, because that's the easy starting point. If your client is eligible for the household discount, okay? So in this state, that would knock a bunch of money off. Then the price is almost the same. Now we came down to $89 versus their price of $88, and this company does not offer household discounts. So that's why I say go back to that household discount. That could negate the whole argument between the one you want to sell them and the cheap one that they might have gotten ice for. So why do we want to sell them certain carriers? We want to sell them carriers that are stable and that are going to make them happy. And the cheapest one doesn't always make them happy, because often the cheapest one turns into the most expensive one because their rates go up so quickly. Now this is much above the heads of the majority of your clients. They don't want to go into this much actuarial depth on a carrier. But just if you are one of those geeks that like to know that stuff, or when you get the random client that really wants to engage you with this data, you do have it available in the quote engine. It's going to show you age increases, how old this rate is, and how many lives this carrier has in the state. So this carrier has 14,000 lives in my state, 250,000 nationally. Shows you premium on the books, their loss ratio, the percentage they have of the market, and nationally and in the state. The loss ratio will give you a good idea how stable these rates are going to be. Also, the rate increases will show you what you can likely expect to happen. And that's why we want to keep your clients and our clients on core national carriers, so they have the best chance to have the most stable rates. Okay, so you probably won't go into this level, but you do need to know that it is there. What you're going to do is you're going to get to this part and say, hey, these are your two options. Let me tell you why I'm not recommending the cheapest one. And so you'll do your sales presentation, and then they'll say, that sounds fantastic. I would like to enroll with Mutual of Omaha, which is the parent company of United World. So you can do that. Your software will allow you to click right over. Carrier resources. Okay. So your carrier resources, but I already had put in there my agent login so that I could go in here automatically and do an app with Mutual of Omaha. So if you are already set up, you can just hit your carrier resources button, whichever plan you want to enroll, and then it'll take you right into that portal with the carrier so you can do your e-apps right online. If you want to send these quotes to your clients, you can make a PDF or you can make a spreadsheet. So like I said, I compared 2 carriers, but maybe you want to compare 3, 5, 10. You can do it with and without discounts. You can look at annual rates versus monthly rates. And like I said, you can go into the market analytics if you want to do that. So I have asked the quote engine to give us a rather large file that I would never in a million years actually present to a client. But again, it's not that hard. Like any computer program, you got to get in there and play around with it. If you'd like one of our marketers to help you while you're trying to play around with it and answer your questions, we'd be happy to do that with you. Or you just go in on your own and explore. Again, go to gordonmarketing.com and you will see Medicare quotes at the top. If you are a new agent, you can click to register for a password. But in most cases, we should have already provided that for you, so you're ready to go. After you have mastered the Medicare supplements, you can go into Medicare Advantage and Part D. If you want to go into the next video, I'll be explaining those in detail for you right now. Thanks. So I hope you enjoyed that introduction just to the Medicare Supplement Quote Engine tool. Now, when you go back into the Quote Engine, you'll see that you can also quote many other different products, and I'll have additional videos specifically to those products. As far as your Medicare Supplement quoting, that'll be the predominant product that you sell. So I want you to get very comfortable with this. There's a lot more actuarial back-end information that's at your fingertips that I didn't go into. Some of you are going to want that information. It's there. And some of you have no interest in that. That's cool. You don't have to go in there. We're not going to train you on that anyway. But you're going to get smarter and smarter about the carriers that you are selling, and then you're going to think, hey, I don't need to go to the quote engine because I know, for example, Cigna is the go-to plan G for a female in my county. And that might be true today somewhere in the country, but whatever you know to be true based on the quotes, the recent quotes you've done, keep in mind that MedSup prices go up every year and new companies come out every day. So it's a volatile market, much more so than the life and annuity side. And so we want you to always go in there and run the rates and let's see what it looks like for each new quote. And when you have questions, come back to us about carriers that you see up there that you don't understand, you've never heard of, prices that look too good to be true, or prices on your core carriers that look to be losing their competitive edge. Come back to us and ask us what's happening in the market. That's our value to you, is we're your back-end support so we can make this all make sense. The quote engine is just the easiest part, the front end. Come to us when you have questions with it.